Hey guys, it's Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Christmas special Kagero deck. It's not really a Christmas special. It's just happened to be filmed near Christmas, or yeah, recorded near Christmas. And as you can see, there's a Christmas Miku here, and we wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and we'll probably see you guys very soon for a New Year's video. But right now, let's do a quick revival. A deck revival deck profile for a deck that came out quite a while ago, but it got revived. It can be quite useful again since because of the new Kagero strides. And the deck we're going to talk about today is the Dauntless Drive Dragon / Dauntless Dominant Dragon deck, and it's a very good deck. It's not as good as the Cross in the end, sort of, but this deck can still hold its own, and it's very fun to play. It has lots of field control and lots of firepower, so it's a pretty aggressive deck. And yeah, let's get right into the deck profile first. So for the starting Vanguard, we run the Grade 3 Pulse Ray Draco Kid. I think it's Pulse Ray, yeah. He's a Grade 3 searcher. There's not really much else to say about it. Yeah. Grade 3s we run for Dauntless Dominant Dragon. This card came out in BT 14. For those of you who don't know its effect, it's Limit Break 4, counter loss 1. Choose one of your Kagero rearguards and lock it. And then until the end of turn, this card gets the effect. In the Vanguard circle, when this card drive checks a grade 1 or above Kagero unit, you can choose one of your opponent's rearguards, grade 1 or lower rearguards, and retire it. And then this card gets plus 3,000 power. And if Dauntless Drive Dragon is in the soul, this card gets an extra 2k. So it is a cross ride, which is excellent. Next we run for Dauntless Drive Dragons. Obviously he's the break ride of the deck, and his skill is when a Kagero unit rides on top of this unit, that unit gets plus 10,000 power and a new skill. Choose 3 cards in your hand and discard it. When this card attacks at the end of the battle, you may pay the cost. If you do, restand it. But you may only pay the cost if this card did not restand this turn. So there's no problem because this deck doesn't restand any other way. And you can only use this effect once per turn because of the thing. And then when this card attacks a Vanguard, it gets plus 3k or plus 2k. So it's a 13k. It attacks for 13k. These 2 cards came out quite a while ago. This came out in BT 11, I believe. Yeah, and with the new stuff that came out in BTG1, GBT01, you have a lot of retiring power in this deck, so it combos really well with the new cards that came out. I'll talk about those a bit later, but actually this guy is new, so let's talk about him. So he is the new key card that Kagero got. Its skill is Generation Break 1. Kind of loss 1. When this card attacks and it is boosted, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or lower rearguards and retire it. So for a very cheap counter loss 1, you can retire a grade 2. It's pretty good. Combos very well with Dauntless Dominant Dragon because he retires grade 1s, and pretty much you're going to have constant pressure on your opponent, and he was probably going to not have a field late game. Especially if he's playing a deck without Legion, they're going to have a really hard time replenishing their field. Next we run 4 of the 12k attackers for the Dauntless cards. Very cool looking card. Next we run this bad boy. He is a Dragonite, so his skill is when an opponent's rearguard is put in the drop zone by one of your effects, this card gets plus 5k, and it's a Generation Break 1. So it doesn't have to be during the main phase, so if you retire something with either Dauntless Dominant Dragon or this guy, he'll get 5k. So basically, if you retire 2 units, he has plus 2k, so he's an 18k unit by himself, which is pretty scary. I only run 3 though, because he's an 8k, so he's quite a low attack base. But he combos really well with another card, which I'll show you in a bit. Actually, I'll show you now, because this is the card I'm talking about. It's another Generation Break unit. Skill is Generation Break 1. When an opponent's card is put in the drop zone by one of your card effects, this card gets plus 5k. So as you can see, the combo is if these two are in a column and you retire 1, this guy becomes a 13k and he becomes 11k, so you hit for 24. If you retire 2 units, this column becomes 34. So pretty scary. And retiring 2 is not a big problem because you do run this guy, so when you stride and retire, it's easy mode getting power. So you guys can probably see why I call this a very powerhouse. It has a lot of firepower, literally, because you get it, Kagero. No. So yeah, we run this guy even though we don't run the other grade 3. We don't run the Sword Master, I think it's called. But he is cheap discard cost for a Stride, and he is a 7k boost, so it's not bad. The main problem with this card is that he's a 6k boost, and when you don't retire anything that turn, he's a pretty bad booster. But yeah, not a bad card. Cheap discard, just to ditch this to Stride, in case you don't have another grade 3s or you want to break Ride next turn. So yeah. Next we run 2 of this guy. He's the guy that you can put into Soul when a unit gets retired. So when a unit gets retired, you can put him in Soul to unflip 2 damage. The main reason we run this guy is because early game we want 7k boosters to make nice columns. But once you do have your retiring going on, this guy will be your main booster, and you don't really want to step on top of it like you would normally do if you don't have other card. So what you do is retire something, put him in Soul, unflip 2, and then call this guy afterwards. That way you don't really waste the card. And he's a nice 7k booster, as I said before. Next we run 2 Climate Tower Wyvern. I'm actually kind of iffy about this card, but he does give you a little bit more drawing power, which I'm not sure if you completely need in this deck. You can either take these guys out for more of these guys if you want. He's also a 5k boost, which isn't that great, but he's a nice card to have. Just to give you a little bit more cards in your hand. And finally, for great ones, we run the Vanguard Bari. I'm not running Protect Orb because I don't have enough Protect Orbs. My Protect Orbs are in the cross deck. And this deck doesn't really use that much counter loss anyway, so Protect Orbs don't really do too much. So yeah, Vanguard Baris will do fine. Triggers, we do... What the... Oh, sorry, my trigger's a bit messed up. We never run 8 crit though. 8 crit. Jeez. Wait, no, we don't. Yes, we do run 8 crit. We run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. Let me fix this up for a bit. So we run 2 of the Gatling Claws because there's some pretty annoying grade 0s out there. And we run the Steel Dragon draw trigger because he's a very nice draw trigger. You can boost this guy to 11k. So if you retire something, he becomes a 16k, which is pretty nice. So that you can attack Vanguards by himself if you really need to. And the other triggers are just, you know, vanilla drop triggers. And let's get right into the good stuff, the G-Zone, because that's where all the finger-licking goodness in this deck comes from. So you guys probably noticed I don't run the Limit Break Enabler because you don't need it in this deck. You absolutely don't need it. The reason being, most of the cards in this deck require you to have Generation Break 1. And when you are, the first time you Stride, you're probably going to Stride into this guy, simply because you Stride into him, his effect doesn't really cost anything, you just hit and retire something, and if your opponent guards against it, great. If they don't guard against it, then you get a retire free unit, and you can get a free attack in. The main reason being is this deck shines late game when you can, you know, blow up their whole field, and then you get a crap ton of power. And they probably can't guard against all 3 of your columns if you have nice numbers. So yeah, you run 2 of this guy. Yeah, 2 of this guy. He's a very nice card. The first Stride target. Second Stride target will be this guy. He's the guy that retires 2 units. His skill is, in your G-Zone, choose one of himself and flip it face up. If you do, and you have 2 cards face up in your G-Zone, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And in the same column, if there's another unit, retire it also. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So as before, this card requires another face up G-Zone. A card in the G-Zone, so that's another reason why you need to strike this first, because if you strike him first and use this effect, you can only flip one thing face up. That means you're still missing another card. So if you strike him first, you can get this effect off. Simple enough. And you're probably only going to get this guy's effect off twice per game. Actually, you will only get twice per game because we don't have any unflippers. And last but not least, we run 2 Atmos. This guy will mainly be your finisher because he becomes a 36k by himself. So if your opponent has a perfect guard, they're pretty screwed. Alright, so as I said before, you're probably going to Stride into this guy first. And then, wait, sorry. You do not get to Break Ride. You do not, I repeat, you do not get to Break Ride because it is not count as riding, it's count as Striding. So you don't get the Break Ride off, so you don't get to withstand, or else that would be OP. But the main thing is, since you Stride this guy first, he becomes in the G-Zone afterwards. You take a couple of hits this turn or something, because your opponent's attacking you, then you're probably going to hit 4 damage afterwards. But that's the main reason why we don't run the Limit Break Enabler, because for most of the mid game you'll be in your Stride status, and if your opponent has any rear guards left or any boosters, just go Break Ride and you can withstand afterwards. So that's even more scary because they're probably exhausted most of their cards trying to replenish the field, and then you just finish them off with a withstanding Vanguard. So that's pretty much how I play this deck, and it's been working out pretty well for me. It's a very fun deck. It's pretty consistent. Most of the time, my opponent won't have any boosters, or actually rear guards in general. You'll be like, "Do you even have rear guards, bro?" And they're like, "No." And then that's how you win in this deck. You usually just out advantage your opponent. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Yeah, this is my Christmas special, burning down all the Christmas trees with Kagero. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I actually want to give a few shout-outs. Shout-outs to Aegis Mark II, a member of Void Canvas, because he started posting unboxings on his channel. I know how a lot of you guys have been asking me to post fight videos, and I don't do that because I'm lazy and it's hard to set up times and stuff to play with friends. But AJ72, or Mark II, has a lot of time on his hands recording these fight videos. So his channel is pretty much all fight videos right now. So if you guys want to see fight videos, then you can feel free to go to this channel and enjoy the fight videos there. On that note, I recorded some fight videos with Trollcoon, which will be up probably by next year. And please stay tuned for that, because we had quite a bit of fun recording those. So yep, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll be back either after or before New Year's, a day or two before that, posting another deck profile. It's gonna be a troll deck, cause what's better spending New Year's than trolling people. And yeah, stay tuned for that. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.